Hey everyone, my name is MJ. I am your friendly creative coach with all things creative and spiritual all in one. And today I will be starting a 4-part series, very quick, where I wrote a 4-part series about specifically for creatives about not stopping yourself from success or like enjoying the process of success, which is very cliche, you know. Um, and also, it kind of looks like this with some background noise because honestly, I've had several coaches and mentors throughout my history say, "You've done is better than perfect." And I have been putting this off, and finally today I was like, you know what? I have the deck out here at this coffee shop all to myself, and I'm just gonna do it. So basically, I'm going to read you the article, and if I have anything to say, I'll mention it at the end. But yeah, so let's uh, let's get into it. So again, this is from my newsletter that I have. It's called the Creative's Mirror, and this particular series is called "Stop Suffering for Success." So the first one, embracing play and joy in your creative life. So let's get going. But suffering is necessary to feel joy and success, I heard myself argue. This argument has was happening in my head though, and my ever present teenage spite pushed back. But haven't we felt enough suffering? When do we get to experience the joy? When do the scales start to tip? And who's in charge of those scales? That smartass had a point. This internal dialogue happened after a very weird dream. In it, I painted a beach ball gold. It was such a strange dream that I couldn't ignore it when I woke up. Somehow, this mundane, weird act felt profound enough to sit with. So, what if I have suffered enough? What if I'm the one who determines that? A radical thought, but now I'm stuck with it. I was reminded of a friend's advice recently. She said to me, "I don't think the kind of work you do is supposed to feel like work." She was right. If anyone else had said that to me, I probably would have brushed it off. But since she truly understands the work I do, I took it to heart. I'm a writer and a creative support person. And when I really think about it, she's right. My work isn't supposed to feel like it did when I was working a 9 to 5, a grind full of anxiety and purposeless hamster wheeling. In fact, was life even supposed to feel like that at all? When I started working for myself, I didn't realize I was still carrying this giant size backpack labeled "work should feel like suffering." That belief stuck with me, whispering that it was supposed to feel a certain way when I was making the money. And sure, not everything I do is in the creative realm. Some of my work involves spreadsheets, data points, customer phone calls, and invoices, but even those things don't have to feel like being stabbed with 1,000 tiny needles. As I've started to connect with more artist friends and embrace a creative and spiritual community, I've noticed this dichotomy in a lot of us. There's this belief that somewhere there's a scale that says a certain amount of pain is required to justify a certain amount of joy or contentment. This Im- this imagery, this imaginary scale holds us back from getting paid for art, from allowing ourselves to feel successful, and even from keeping our anxiety to a manageable hum instead of a blaring train horn. This that dream, the image of a painted beach ball gold, is a lot is a lot like taking something that meant for play and turning it into a gilded trophy. I was turning that playful object into something valuable, yes, but also untouchable. The beach ball itself was already colorful, light, and joyful. It already attracted others to come play because it looked fun. And the act of playing with it was already meaningful. What am I creating? What I am creating is already meaningful, and it's an act of joy to create it. The act of painting that beach ball gold was showing me that I could turn things that feel like play into things that are lucrative. And yes, those things might feel a little different once they've been assigned monetary value. The platinum record musician doesn't play the platinum record. They display it and go on to make more music. But before that record ever arrived as platinum, they were playing. They were experimenting, creating, and enjoying the process. The point is, that beach ball was a beach ball before it became a gold trophy. So it's so important to enjoy where we are, especially in our creative work. And no, not everything has to feel joyful, but maybe if more of it felt like joy on average and less like a chore, then maybe even the act of painting the ball gold wouldn't feel so painful or like work. Maybe lighten up the mood and play, and maybe the golden beach ball will arrive on its own instead of forcing every beach ball to be one. Even if the work isn't about creating, why should I show up for my customer phone calls or invoice management with a frown? Is it because I feel like I should? Because some scale somewhere says that I should suffer more? There's a bigger prize waiting at the end? What if I haven't? What if I've already done enough work in the suffering department? I want to stop painting beach balls gold before I've had fun with it, before I've even enjoyed the process of creating. I want to let go of whatever outcome may arrive and just enjoy the fun of each day. Because as cliche as this is, I'm starting to really, truly understand that the journey is the point. Allowing fun and joy means finding a way of letting go of the need to perfect every line or agonize over every draft. It means experimenting, laughing at my own mistakes, smiling through the meticulous tasks, and remembering why I started creating in the first place. Our work and lives don't have to feel like a burden to be meaningful. We are in charge of the scales of joy and pain. In fact, I'm starting to think that the less life feels like a forced pain in the ass, the more we're actually on the right path. And if that means we're playing with beach balls instead of automatically gilding them, then so be it. Let's play first and see what happens as we do. Life's too short to carry a bucket of gold paint everywhere anyway. Love your face. So that piece really, like, that dream was really weird to me. Like, I remember having that dream and waking up and being like, what did I just dream about? Like, why did I dream about beach balls and gold paint? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, like when you think of, and this is another thing that I love doing. I love like dreaming and then waking up and analyzing my dream, like writing them down and looking at the symbolism in them. And it actually really helps a lot of my art. I put a lot of that symbolism in my story writing and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting thing to do. And I instantaneously like sat down and kind of wrote like a little short story about the dream, like in my head, and like what it felt like to be with a beach ball. Like, you know, usually they're at the beach or like at a poolside, and it's usually like super fun and like entertaining, or like on a vacation, or like there's a lightness to it. There's like a brightness, you know, the sun's usually out or something, you know what I mean? And then, you know, the gold paint is very decadent. It's very like posh. There's like a professional, like, even as I talk about it, my back straightened up. Like, it feels like very like earned, you know what I mean? Like, I earned the right to feel like my work was play, because I did a lot of the suffering already. Like, I did a lot of the burdensome things already, you know? That's not to say there isn't more coming. That's not to say, you know, that there won't be trials and tribulations and stuff like that. But like, I don't have to add to the already painful process of living life in a world the way that it is right now, especially like by adding my own crap, like adding my own layer of like, I'm supposed to feel like it's painful all the time. And I go into more detail in some of the next ones, but this is part one. If you kind of like this, and I'm sorry about my reading in general, like I try to be as smooth as possible, but I'm just reading them to you. It saves me from having to get into that like perfection mode where everything just needs to be perfect in order to post it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and post this. I maybe not even put closed captions on it, although I want to, but you know, so this is for you, for the perfectionist artist, the perfectionist creative that feels like everything has to feel like a drudge. For sure, I'm with you. I still struggle with it every day, and even going to post this, like I'm gonna just go ahead and do it, and like even doing that is feeling like like I need to go in and I need to edit something, and like there's noise in the background, and you know it's not in the perfect place, but you know, or my hair's not perfect, like I have this dent in my hair and it's fuzzy, and like, you know what, it's fine, it's fine, I'm just gonna post it. This is me acting on what I write. Taking my own good advice. Okay, anyway, love your face, keep creating.